Hi, and welcome to MHA Foundation. I'm Jennifer Smith, and I am here today with the co-director of PCK, Payson Community Kids, Mama J, ever so lovingly known as Mama J. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. We are super excited to feature your program. You guys do incredible work, and you serve our community in such an amazing way. So start off with thank you very much. About that work, can you share in your heart how you feel that PCK is making a difference in our community and has made a difference in our community?
Oh my goodness, that is an expansive question.
It is.
What PCK does in the community, the biggest thing is it's a place for kids to belong and learn to belong is another facet of it. And I like to say a place to belong and grow because we're really trying to help them grow as individuals and grow as community people.
Yeah.
We do scholastic support. We do play support. Sometimes a lot of what, and honestly, in other countries, a lot of what kids do to learn is play.
Absolutely.
And they learn through play in a tremendous way. So we spend quite a bit of time playing. We also make sure they get their homework done because a lot of times they can't get it done at home.
Right.
Because the days are so long. We also do crafts and creative time, and then STEM activities, and it's highly adaptive. We change quite a bit, trying to find what fits, and to be honest, what fit last year may not fit this year.
Or with this kid or that kid.
Or with this kid or that kid, and that is the biggest thing, is it being very much child by child. We use teams as kind of a helping us navigate and work through the jigsaw puzzle of how do you get 40 to 60 kids to kind of fit in the space that we have and have it run relatively smoothly. Because when volunteers show up and it's absolute chaos, they're like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right.
This is a bit much for me.
Yeah.
And so we work really hard to kind of keep some level-headedness and stability to the program in general when it's running. And sometimes currently what that looks like is we'll have a group of 10 to 20 kids that's in doing homework. Let's take a Monday, for instance. We've got a group of 10 to 20 kids doing homework, and then a group of 10 to 20 kids doing arts and crafts. And then we have a group of 20 to 40 kids that's outside playing.
And do they sort of swap then?
On a day-to-day basis.
Oh,
so,
I see. Okay.
On Mondays, we also typically have a volunteer that comes in and teaches dance to the kids.
Oh, that's great.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, Rim Country Literacy comes in, and they do literacy support.
That's huge.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive. And then on Wednesdays, we have a volunteer who comes in and does soccer coaching. And we have another volunteer when our older kids are in soccer, our younger kids are in doing story time and songs. And that's a recent volunteer who started doing that, and they absolutely eat up that time. And we have a few of the older kids who come in and do it.
So you're kind of creating programs around the skill sets of the volunteers.
Absolutely.
It sounds like
100%.
That's
when we bring a volunteer on board, we're like, what is it you like to do? Where would you like to be? And we have quite a few who prefer to be outside. And that's where we've really tried to facilitate more time outside. We make sure they get their homework time. So we have 4 teams, and on a day-to-day basis, one team will start at the beginning of the week in the homework room, and then the next day a different team's in the homework room. So each group will get a day in the homework room. And so homework is key, and then playtime is key.
Yeah.
The rest of it is pretty fluid, and then the literacy support is absolutely mandatory. Nobody's allowed to skip it.
And so is this 4 days a week, 5 days a week? How do you guys structure that?
So during the school year, we follow the school schedule.
Okay.
So if there's school, there's PCK. During the summer, we have a summer program that runs from approximately 7:45 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. Roughly the same schedule as school. We do also provide snacks, and on school days, we provide dinner. We facilitate dinner being provided. Community members provide the meals, and we make sure that they get to the kids. there's a lot of legwork that goes into that too.
That's huge.
It's
Absolutely.
a tremendous amount of logistics for sure. And during the summer program, we also have community members who come in and provide meals. And then we've been able to partner with the school district when they're running their summer school. They also provide meals for PCK.
That's good.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That's a big deal. I know I've been in that facility a lot, and I know that I know what you're working with there. And so I give you huge kudos because that's a lot of kids to serve. And
It is.
Food
It
is logistically very challenging. So, yeah.
And we've got a pretty good system with the kids. We have table captains. So part of what we try to do is give them opportunities to be responsible. And so we have designated table captains, and their job is basically to set up the table for their table. We seat 6 to a table. And so the table captain will come in, they'll set up drinks and silverware and napkins, or utensils and napkins, and then after dinner they clean up, or they make sure that the table's cleaned up.
Sure.
And to help facilitate trying new things, we have a rule: 3 bites to go play. Want dessert, clear your plate.
That is great.
And it actually rhymes. That's not the actual saying.
Yeah, no, but the concept is great too, because it's attainable for the kids that maybe have sensory issues or whatever.
Exactly.
You get through 3 bites. It's not overwhelming.
Right.
You know, and so it's not like that authoritative kind of thing. And
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
We're giving them the opportunity, and then the table captains make sure that they clean up after themselves instead of being a maid. And we have to remind them.
Of course.
Typically our table captains are 5th graders.
Yeah.
During 6th season, attendance is not as great, so we'll give younger kids an opportunity. If there's not as many kids to worry about, then the younger kids can do it.
So you said there's how many typically on any given day?
Our attendance currently is at about 40. We started lower this year to kind of get our feet wet and get familiar with all the kids and everything, and make sure that we've got the volunteer base to support
Is that
it.
at capacity then?
No.
Okay. So what would you anticipate your capacity to be?
Our capacity, we could go as high as 85, but that would be really, really, really tough to manage without like 25 volunteers on a daily basis.
And especially, I would imagine, on days where the weather doesn't allow to have outside facilities.
That's very not comfortable in that building. It is very not comfortable in that building.
Would be tight and probably a little bit stinky.
Yes. It's either exceedingly warm inside or exceedingly cold outside.
Yes. I totally understand. And how many volunteers do you have?
Currently, it varies day to day. We on Mondays we're at approximately 5. Tuesdays and Thursdays, when Rim Country Literacy is in, they bring their own volunteers, and we're usually at about 7, including those volunteers. And then Wednesdays we're at like 3. So Wednesdays are tough.
Yeah.
We still try to facilitate everything. Homework's always a priority, and playtime's always a priority. If we can't do a craft that day, we kind of let it go. And then it does vary depending on the event. If we are doing like a Christmas party, we can usually get a couple extra volunteers in. But not always. Gotcha. So we plan as though we have very few volunteers, because that's usually the case.
You have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the community, what different ways could they engage? I mean, what you're doing is phenomenal, and I'm betting there's a lot of people that have no idea how much work you're doing to support these kids and would love to be a part of it. So I'm sure there's probably a plethora of different ways, small and large, that people could participate. How could they be a part of what you do?
Well, it's threefold, honestly. One of the biggest ways is just spreading the word. I'm ever surprised at the number of people that don't even know that PCK exists.
Isn't that amazing?
And we're right in the center of town, and the activity level that we experience there, it blows my mind how many people are unaware that we're there. And we've been working really, really hard this year to get the word out that we're here and everything we're doing. Funding is a biggie.
Okay.
We are entirely private donation and grant funded. So that's a very big one.
Yeah.
And then volunteering.
Okay.
And it's very much a 3-part scale. And we're trying really hard to keep that balance on all three parts, because we could get the funding, but if we don't have the personnel to support it, then the program fails.
Yeah.
And if we get the personnel, but we don't have the funding to support it, then the program fails. So it's very much, we need both.
Sure.
As a biggie. And if folks don't have the money and they don't have the time to volunteer, please help spread the word. That's huge. And we do tours all the time. We can receive a text message or a phone call saying, hey, I just want to come check out the place and see what you're doing so I can spread the word. That would be huge. Huge. And we're happy to take that time out to share what it is we're doing, because it's one thing to talk about it, but it's so different to be in the space and see it.
Absolutely. Especially if it's possible for them to come when the kids are there and see how they're enjoying it. I don't know with security how that works.
It's logistically a little tricky. We would probably do that on Mondays exclusively, because we have additional security there at that time.
Okay. Yeah. So if somebody wants to come or even just engage in a conversation about the ways that they could personally be a part of what you do, how do they get in contact with you?
Text message is probably the fastest way to get a response.
Okay.
And that would be 928-978-6235.
Okay. We'll put that on the screen
Awesome.
too.
Awesome. Yeah. And then email is paysonCommunityKids@gmail.com.
Oh, that's easy enough.
We've also got social media, which is also Payson Community Kids.
Okay.
We're on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. And then we have a website, PaysonCommunityKids.com.
Love the consistency. Love that. So it seems as though ways that people who even have possibly ability issues, they could just go on social media and start sharing your content, and that would even be helpful.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And we do, on our social media, work really hard to share community events. So stuff that's not even sponsored by PCK, but families that are looking for financially inexpensive ways to go do things with the family, we track those things down and try and share those things. So October our social media was very full. The town had a lot going on for Halloween.
Wonderful. That is fantastic. So as we sort of wrap things up, I kind of want to leave folks with just if you have a story of some sort of engagement that really just touched your heart that you feel like you'd like to share, that would be great.
So that would be a very personal story. That would be my story, actually. So years ago, I was a single parent going through a divorce. And I had 2 kids at the time and was in a really, really tough spot. I was working between 60 and 80 hours a week.
That's tough.
Trying to make ends meet. And what it looked like before PCK was I had a camera at home, and my boys would walk home from school, and they would stay in the living room, and they would take the bus home from school. Then they would walk home from the bus stop and be in the living room. They check in with me in the camera. I'd have a motion sensor alert me when they got home. And I would leave the camera running on my phone. And they would stay in the living room and do their homework and then show me their homework through the camera. And then they'd wait for me to get home, which was usually between 6 and 7 o'clock at night. And then I would pick them up and we would go through the Burger King drive-thru and get dollar menu, and we'd go home and eat it together as a family. And that was our family time, because they'd go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. And then we'd have to I would get up at 5:15 in the morning to be out the door by 6:30 to get my work stuff. And we spent a lot of time in the car.
That
a lot
is
of time
exhausting.
in the car.
Yes.
And PCK was absolutely life-changing for me with that, because that about 4:30 until 6 o'clock at night every day that I was spending having to divide my attention between are my kids okay and still being able to do my work. And my employer was very, very generous in allowing me to do that. I could then focus completely on my work. And so my days got shorter. And then I was actually able to have quality time with my kids and know that they had a quality meal.
That's amazing.
And those were the hugest factors for me. And I'm one single parent in that story. And a huge portion of our demographic are single parents going through this.
And not even just single parents. Married parents are the same way.
Working
if both parents
2 jobs
are working,
and
absolutely. So
it's very, very challenging these days.
What a blessing. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and thank you for all of the folks that you work with, for what you do for our community and for our kids, because this is not replaceable. So
it's not. I'll go down swinging for PCK.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much again. We appreciate you coming in, and we are excited to share about the program and look forward to doing more alongside of you.
Thank you so much. So much.